Today we're speedrunning every single ending in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So our speedrun starts as soon as we load in, we can start moving forward, and we'll be going for our first ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Not sure, narrator.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking with the narrator this whole time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sometimes we'll be listening to him,
Yes,
sometimes not.
Truly a room worth admiring. But
it really
eager
is.
to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
But we're not going to go to the first open door on the left because our first ending is over here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
And then we have to be careful right there, go straight through there into the vent to a secret room. That's going to take a second to load, and now we're here.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
He's out of my brain. We turned off the narrator. Let's go. Except
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you?
I kinda
What a
did.
silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
we haven't been on it yet.
Just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory.
I thought it was
bet
pretty
each
cool.
and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling.
Chill,
It must be
man.
so simple
Chill
to believe.
out.
Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do.
You're mean.
Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Stop. And that's ending 1. And now ending 2, we're just going to stay in the room. So as soon as it gets in, we will close the door.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
I couldn't do it.
He had never been trained for that.
Nope.
No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever.
It's perfect.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
That'd be perfect.
Now it's just a little bit closer.
Let's go.
Now it's even closer.
Let's go.
Here it comes.
All right, and that is ending number 2. So on to 3, and we're taking the same path as last time. But on the way, we're also going to this keyboard, and we'll press an input there. But this time, instead of going to a secret room, we're going straight over here, and we're gonna
In his
die.
eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
That's gonna be ending number 3, and it will unlock the new content for us. And
to go to
again,
the
we're gonna
meeting
stop by a
room. Perhaps he had
keyboard,
simply
put an
missed a memo.
input. That's number 2 on the inputs. And we'll also see the new content door. Let's go.
Oh, new content.
Oh yeah.
What does that mean? New content.
So now we get to go on this nice little experience. Gotta love how they set this all up for us. It's such a nice room.
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
No problem.
As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Oh yeah, those were the times.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Gotta love to see it.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Did you see that smiley face? It must be awesome.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Let's
Oh,
go.
well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool so far. Brick wall.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or
Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
The narrator is not very patient, I'm not gonna lie. Just a nice elevator ride. Double brick wall.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Let's do it! Yes, the jump circle!
All right, let's see. It's the
Oh,
jump circle.
yeah. That was awesome. That was amazing.
Is that it?
It was amazing, man.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Hater.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Me too, man. Me too. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar.
I thought it was
And don't
good.
get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore."
That's
What
awesome.
quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I like this room. Look at the chair. Oh, well, that's ending number 4. And it spawns us in a new place where right away we're going to this vent.
Psst! Stanley!
I'm coming.
Come over here! In the vent!
Yes.
I want to show you something!
Okay, you don't have to whisper.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
It's beautiful.
Just our little secret. Take a look.
Look at the house.
I call it the memory zone.
It's a triangle.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable
I'm
on
dead.
PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable... And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable.
10 out of
Like this
10.
stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
We love to
James
see it.
Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created."
Wow.
Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created.
That's impressive,
That's
man.
how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I wish we got a whole hour of that. It was awesome.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I don't know. This man is truly a hater.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait,
Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
No!
I haven't looked at these in years.
Oh, no.
I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
They must have been. I mean, it's the Stanley Parable.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
Wow.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh, here's another one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
I mean...
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh,
I can't
goodness.
talk.
This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't.
You tried your best. You know,
Yeah.
that's all you can really worry
What
about.
an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps what's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
True, I'm trying to speedrun.
A skip button?
Yeah.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record.
Yeah.
Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh, yeah.
And here it
And
is.
we can skip.
Hey,
man.
Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue.
Did not ask. Easy.
Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of
Don't care.
self-absorption...
Don't care at all.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45...
I hope it's even longer this time.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting
Let's
longer,
go
but
for
they're-
48 hours.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
We can do better than that. Hello? Narrator?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about...
I don't care what you had to think about. I'm gonna be honest. And now he's gone. So, yeah. We're just gonna keep skipping, though. Probably the saddest ending in the Stanley Parable. Not gonna lie. But don't worry, he'll probably be back eventually.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed.
I didn't want to hear about whatever he was talking about. Ah, what a nice room. They really couldn't keep the lights on, though. And that poor tree. It's trying its best, but we'll skip another time.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end,
Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Don't care. You know, the room, all things considered, is doing pretty well so far. You know, it's still a room. You gotta give it credit for that. And for this next one, okay, you know, maybe I talked too soon. But it's still a room. Like, you know, you can't get out of here that easily. And let's try for the next one. Is he coming back? Oh, we have light. Yay, I can see the sky now. We got lucky with that skip. Actually got to see sunlight for once in our lives. But what can we get with the next one? And touch grass percent is complete. Even though that's not really grass. It's more of just something green. But you know what? I'm gonna count it as grass. Easiest speedrun of my life. Now I guess we'll just finish this other one. And yeah, it's getting a little spooky in here, but that's okay because I will never stop pressing this button. I love the button. It's all that I love. And what is that voice? My night terrors are coming back. Okay, this one has to be a good one. And yeah, that's all the button presses we can do. And at this point, we are just now in a gigantic sand area. It's a huge open world for us to explore. Probably nobody in here. And we're pretty much just waiting until the song is finished. I really wish there was a jump circle over here. Think about how much fun we would have. But instead, you know, we can kind of climb on some rocks. That's pretty cool, you know? I like that one. And finally, after just a bit longer, that is going to be ending number 5. And now we're into the Stanley Parable 2. Or at least we will be in a second. First, we got to get through here again.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
We just did see weather. What are you talking about?
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
Yeah, it was a nice sign.
I have something very exciting to show you.
So now we're going back, but this time it'll be a bit different. He's learned. And we don't even have to watch the whole presentation. I mean, I did enjoy the presentation, but I guess that's okay.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
Let's go.
Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Let's go! This is what we needed the whole time!
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
This is all I've ever
Now, to
wanted.
be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance
Let's
Bucket.
go!
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
Finally.
And your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
Finally!
You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me.
Give
than
me it
actually
now.
redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
Can you give it
Come
to me?
on, give it a try.
Yes! Yes! Finally!
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair,
Oh my gosh.
must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Thank you.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Aww.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
They do.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
This is all we've ever needed. Thank you so much, narrator. You're amazing.
Does anyone give out awards for... Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Yeah, so there are a bunch of features. There's only some places we have to go for the endings, though, like the collectibles, which you can see. It's a pretty nice collectible. And just look how beautiful of a room it is.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game.
You need
In
'em.
the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Let's go.
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on.
That's exactly what I've needed. Finally! It's a nice one too. Look at it. And I will collect them all. We will.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
I want nothing. And now, the infinite hole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite fall. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward. You see, isn't it wonderful?
It's awesome.
One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so.
This
Now
is
then,
the best.
Since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we... Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
I'm not gonna see them. I'm trying to see the hole, man.
Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again?
I did.
I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well,
No.
This is rather embarrassing, Stanley.
No.
I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom.
How dare
Yes,
you?
I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem.
Chill out, man.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
I'll agree with that
If
one.
that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport. Oh, for heaven. You see?
I love the
I
hole.
was right. The problem is you.
It is me.
The problem is that you like holes too much.
I love them.
A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh.
I love it so much.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before.
It's so much fun, though.
Admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
All right, that was a good
Had
time.
enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole.
I love it. It's all I
If this
need.
starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
That's the scientific method right there.
It is. How is this still appealing to you?
It's a hole. What are
I
you
know
talking
you're obsessed
about?
with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch.
I'm having fun.
Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
And the teleport button doesn't work anymore.
Is the, teleport button not working?
Good. I want to
sure?
stay here.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
You know?
Take care, Stanley.
Kinda best
I
ending.
hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Thanks, man. Have a good day. All right, let's check out the hole. We got new mug. We got from management to everybody. BCC me, meeting at 2 p.m. Sincerely management. Gotta love that. We have exactly the same thing. We got every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. You know, that's a pretty smart thing. And finally, we have just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Oh, and while that was happening, the hole's been moving down. It's becoming more and more infinite by the second. Oh, this hole's even better than I ever thought it would be. And good thing we got to read those papers. Now they're just pitch black. Change your perspective. This might just be the best ending ever. Change your perspective. We really get to appreciate Stanley in all his glory from so many different angles. But that's not the only thing that this ending gives you. We can also change our perception. Give us a brand new, different song. Now we can have a bit more fun. Okay, I'm trying to come up with a song. It's not really working. Let's go with a different one. All right. I like this one. It's a little weird, I would say, but let's try a different one. They really have a lot of songs they added, but now we can change our reality. And there's one reality that I think everybody will appreciate the most. And of course, that's the puppy one, baby. Look at those puppies just doing puppy thing. They're eating or something. Let's see if we can get a better perspective. Not you, Stanley. I'm trying to see the puppies. Stanley, there we go. Look at those puppies go. Oh my gosh, they're so adorable. And now we can change ourselves, which I think we need to get our perspective a bit better. Oh no, puppies, I'm sorry. But it's okay. Here, we'll just appreciate Stanley in all his glory. That's Buff Stanley. That's Cartoon Stanley. That's a different Cartoon Stanley. That's Very Sad Stanley. That's a weird other sad Stanley. That's regular Stanley. That's Robot Stanley. And that's Upside Down Stanley again. Here, let's go back to the puppies. I'm missing them. We'll just keep him on his head because I think he's having a fun time.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley?
No!
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there,
No.
drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
I was enjoying it so much. Well, I guess we'll get another scenario where it goes down eventually. Probably. Except after a while, instead of it letting us go into our imagination again, it resets and we're back into the Stanley Parable 2. So this time we'll spawn right over here.
Go on. Try out some of the new features.
I'm not trying any of the new features. We got what we needed. Now we can exit.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
I think so.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement. All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ready to move on now?
Yeah. Oh, look, it's me. I'm looking pretty good at that one. I mean, we just got a lot of views of me in that last little bit, but here we go. Time for this.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
I love them.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can
Trying to
feel
get
it
on
in
the
my
chair.
soul. It's going to work. There's
Come on, there we
definitely
go.
a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll
gonna get
arrange
front
these
seat.
new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
I think it will. I believe in our man.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Let's go. This looks amazing. Look at it. It's got balloons.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
I would say
sort
so.
of. Okay, never mind.
Look at the
Hold
hole.
on. Let me do a different arrangement.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Oh, even better.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
What are you
And I
talking
do
about?
very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Look at it.
I wanted
good.
more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2.
Can we do it?
Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
All right, is it going to be a good title screen? That's beautiful. We didn't even look at it, but I still think it was beautiful. And now, since we have completed all that, there's going to be all the new content has been added. So we'll come right in here and you'll see it starts out the same.
What could it mean?
I'm not sure, man.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Of course I picked up the bucket. Let's be honest with ourselves. We need the bucket. It's who we are now.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
And yeah, now all the dialogue is going to change since we have the bucket.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where... Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
You don't.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket.
I want to, though.
I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong.
It's so hard.
This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
I love him.
You can't hand it over.
Oh
No.
I want
Getting
to, though.
into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults
Stop!
simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons.
Me too.
Even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient?
No.
That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner?
No!
Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Broom closet, you're a bozo. I'm sorry.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
And once we get property of Stanley, we can continue on.
It walked upstairs to the boss's office.
And we're also taking this guy.
Found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh yeah, gotta love to see that. And it's time for Bucket Mariella.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Crazy?
He
I was
looked down
crazy
at the
once.
bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
Am I?
The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
Bucket?
That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket.
No.
It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
No.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket.
I'm getting chills.
Indeed. Now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
Please stop.
And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Okay, this is actually pretty fun.
He exclaimed, without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from
Where
room to
are
room,
you?
passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his.
Where
None
are
of them were his
you?
special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the
Please.
bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity.
Big
and
bucket.
then suddenly, it froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
No.
It was incredibly painful.
No.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
That's what happens when you forget your bucket. Everyone knows this.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter.
She's so cool.
But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass.
It does.
And she backflipped all the way to work.
She's so cool. All right, so now we're going to do the same ending, but this time without the bucket.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
That sounds like a pretty good time. I'm not gonna lie. Also, cool thing that happens is since we started getting the figurines, now this meeting room changes to how we can find them. And also, we're gonna stop by the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office, but Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Thank you.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Coffee nut.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Please wake up.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up,
Please.
he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
I want it to be done.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
It's all I want.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Ooh. Oh no, I'm still here. Well, time to freak out.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I?
Please.
And everything went black.
So that was a fun ending. But it's not done yet, because we still get to see Mariella.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
She's so cool.
It was comforting to think this. And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
That's fair.
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well, thanks for visiting me, Mariella. At least there's that. All right, time to get some more endings now.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in?
Probably.
How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
We're probably fine. Don't worry about it. So this time we're going over here again, and we're going in the broom closet again.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And before we go over there, we'll stop over here at the executive bathroom.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines?
You're trying,
Yes,
man.
I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
That was an okay try. It wasn't amazing, but you tried, and that's all that really matters. Now we will come over here, press another input, before going into our boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh yeah, gotta love the calming New Age music. Just a nice calming presence on us.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
And we are also going to get yet another figurine.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1?
I think they're
Let
both
me
good.
sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Yeah, you got this, buddy. I believe in you. And now we can go down the elevator. Yet another elevator. I love elevators. Too bad it doesn't have a brick wall, though. That would definitely make it better.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Well, I hope so. I'm also not thinking it. I guess he is.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh yeah, I gotta love the mind control facility. Surely this won't go badly. And also, it's also time to escape it. See ya!
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome.
Thank you.
You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it.
Fair enough.
And you're all very, very clever. Good for you.
Thank you.
Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours, so here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content?
It is.
Always more content, more, more.
You're the one who
And
promised
I'm here to
it.
give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game.
Wow.
It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Thank you.
We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Okay.
Good job, you did it.
You did it.
Good job.
Good job. 3, 2, 1.
Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk.
The catwalk.
You should have been careful.
Yeah.
You should have been careful.
Yeah.
It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending.
Oh yeah.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
I believe in your ability to cross this barrier.
I did it.
And chase your dreams.
I will.
But railings don't mean anything.
Nothing at all.
Good job, you did it.
Yeah.
Good job, you did it.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, you did it.
Yeah.
Good job, you did it.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, you did it.
Yeah.
Good job, you did it.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, you did it.
Yeah.
Good job, you did it.
Yeah.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's the entire ending. So we're going back there. And you will see this time the broom closet is now closed. And that counts as an ending, so that's 11.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Doesn't even make me remember the code. He's such a nice guy. And we're headed back down again.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So this time, we're actually going to turn on the lights and stuff. We don't get to hear the song again, but we will come up here again. And that's because we can be just a little bit faster by dropping down there onto this gate that's opening up, or this bridge. I don't know why I called it a gate.
To find out.
Then we can go ahead, press the
Now
cameras
the
down.
monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Well, that's kind of sad. You didn't really have to say it like that, but we'll press another button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
But instead of going straight over there, we have to get another ending, which is technically an ending. And finally, after a while, these gates are going to open up and we can go back to that light button. It's very ominous with nobody talking right now. Kind of awkward, but I will come over here, we'll press that, and everything goes dark. And then we get the secret ending where all these screens are going to light up and say, never give up on your dreams. Secret mode's engaged. Oh, yeah. It's kind of a party, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, now we can actually head up here and enjoy this.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Never.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Kind of unlucky.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided...
We got rid of the mind control facility. Now everything goes black for a little bit, but after a bit, we hear some music, and that's always a good sign.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Please? Maybe?
Yes. He had won.
We did it.
He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Unlucky.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
I don't really care.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
True.
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Finally.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Let me out.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
It's so beautiful.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Good ending unlocked.
Here's the door, just go.
Oh, and they make it even easier for us. They don't make us wait at all this time, so that's pretty nice. So this time, we're gonna make the narrator a little bit angrier.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah, exactly. How'd you know?
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
My bad.
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Well,
how long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Yeah.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
I'm gonna stand here and do nothing.
This is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means.
More time to stand here.
I don't know where to start.
I'm just not gonna move.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Not really.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
No, I'm good.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever,
Oh, I
pushing
did that.
buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
That one was awesome.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Oh.
I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Yeah, you're a great
My
storyteller,
goodness,
man.
only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not?
Let's go.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
I'm fine with that.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
No, I'm literally
I mean,
just
look at
standing
you,
here.
running from button to button, screen to screen.
I've already
clicking
accepted
on
it.
every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
Well, that's cool.
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
I haven't moved at all, man.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy.
I haven't even
you
tried.
wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces.
I mean, that is an
Will
ending.
you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count.
No, I'm just
Or
gonna stand here.
It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Well, that was cool. Now time to go back to our boss. But this time, instead of doing what it wants us to, we're gonna escape. Oh, we're gonna escape.
Here's
There
the
we go.
door.
That's what I wanted to do. So, when you escape, yeah, you just don't listen to the narrator anymore. And we're going back to the start. Everything is completely silent. And yeah, it's a little awkward. We have no more narrator. He's just chilling. And we're walking through this office alone. Which, you know, it is kind of a beautiful thing. Just being free. Just walking by ourselves, seeing the bucket. We're not taking them. And eventually we'll make it over to this door and head in. Which that's going to load us a very different spot where it says you are now leaving. And now we're just going through this kind of creepy section. You know, with all the red lights, the darkness, the narrator isn't even talking to us anymore. That's how upset he is at us. But that's also life. So, you know, it is what it is. And you can't use the elevator or anything like that. You have to walk through this and just kind of keep going. And it gets darker the higher you get. So it's just getting creepier and creepier. You're scared something's going to jump out at you, but you're just walking. And finally, once we make it to here, we can see we made it to the escape pod launch bay. And we make it through just some pitch darkness. And we just keep moving forward until finally we see the escape pod. So we just want to press this as soon as possible, and we've escaped. That's another ending. Kind of a weird ending, but I guess they all are. We are playing the Stanley Parable. So yeah, let's go back to the boss's office. But actually, we made it here, whiteboard ending, and we can turn on dog mode. This makes it so every time I click, we have a dog barking. Oh, listen to the dog's echo. That was awesome, man. I love the dog. And this time, instead of going to the mind control room, we're going to take the left over to escape.
Mind control facility.
I'm not doing that.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent
That's
death.
okay. I can bark. It makes me feel better. Even though I don't have the bucket, at least I got the
The door
dog.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No, I got the dog in me.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
It's who I am. It's what I'm going to do, man. And there we go. Now we can see over here, we head down, and yeah, we're literally going to our death. The narrator is not lying. We go right on here. You can see this room, and yeah, now we're going to a place which is going to crush us.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
I mean, it happens.
Farewell, Stanley.
Good seeing you, man. It was a good time. And so, we are going to get crushed. But it stops.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Well, that's nice. But we are not. We can actually get taken out because we have a new narrator who's telling us what to do.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
He's just having a good time at this point.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
But I can bark. That's pretty cool. That makes life worth living. Look at those barks, man.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Turn off. I don't want to hear you talking.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Nar.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
So, we're back
But
over
listen
here.
to me. You can still save these two. You can
could.
stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
That's fine.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
And there we go. That's another ending. Hooray! But same old, we're going back. And now, unfortunately, we no longer have the dog. Yeah, we can't bark when we click anymore. We lost it. But we had it for a while, and it was an awesome time. And this time, we got a fun ending. Because first of all, we're going to head downwards, just like usual. But after that, I think we forgot something. So, let's head back up.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
You're so silly,
Why
man.
did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Me too. So we get back over here and we have to wait a bit. So we might as well go back to the boss's office really quick and see it.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office.
Nice.
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator.
That was awesome.
It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
It really has.
It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm bolted to the edge of my seat. Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Thank you. Thank you. I know. But wait, because next we're going back up. Oh, yeah.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, so this is going to be pretty cool. And let's see, how awesome is this going to be? Just wait for it. Yeah!
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
Let's go!
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
That's fair. And we get to see this little guy. He's just going up. You think this guy enjoys the coffee? Or do you think he's just forced in a never-ending cycle of having to drink it? Is he choosing this beverage? Maybe he wants water. Maybe he hates the taste of coffee.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
And he just keeps going. Nobody's ever asked him, do you enjoy this coffee? Are you in control of your own destiny? No, he just keeps drinking. He has to drink. It's all he knows. He wants a different drink. Nobody will let him. Please let him out. Move the coffee away from him. Please, he does not want to drink it. Stop.
All right. I have, of course, going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Thank you. I know. I'm special. I am. And going back up, baby. You already know that's what we're going to do. But this time will be a little bit different.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley.
Oh.
You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill.
Oh.
I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Let's do it. Yes.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started.
I know exactly what you
Where's
mean.
the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley.
I know.
I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to.
I know.
We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition.
Thank
You're
you.
a role model, you know? People look up to you.
Really?
Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you.
Oh,
so
okay.
that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley.
Oh.
I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them.
Really?
This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
All right.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
All right. You know, all eyes on Stanley.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door. All right, are you ready? I've
Oh my
told them
gosh.
you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
I've got this. Hello, everybody. Hello, my name is Stanley, and today I'll be singing you a little song. 7 a.m. the usual morning lineup. Start on the chores and sweep till the floor's all clean. Polish and wax, do laundry and mop and shot. Oh, wait, I'm dying. All right, well, that happens. So we're back here, and now we're getting some cool endings. Boom, hit that, input, and then we get on there, get up here, and go through here. And now we're in this room. Isn't this nice?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Oh.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
It is.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
that
over
was
it
awesome.
now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No, I am not.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes...
And now you can actually just press begin the game again because that's the whole ending. That's all you have to do. And now let's get the heaven ending. So we press that input. That is going to be all 5 inputs. And right away it is going to be done. But I'll let you enjoy the buttons just for a second. Look at those buttons. Look at me pressing them. Okay, anyways, we'll begin the game again. So that's all you need to do for 2 of those endings. And now we're going to escape the map again. So this time we're going to say yes.
I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want.
No, we have to wait.
Right now.
We have to wait this
You could
time.
have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit.
Gotta get
Any
the
of
ending.
these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game.
I won't do
So,
it.
just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Deal. All right, once we hear the song, we can begin the game again, and that's another ending. So we're back to bucket endings, baby. Now with the bucket, we're heading into the broom closet again because we got to get its other sticker. Narrator?
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
And there we go.
Coming to
That's
a
the bucket
staircase,
sticker ending.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Gotta love having the bucket. And this time, anytime you have the bucket with you, you actually have to press the
Stepping
code.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned
2,
to discover not an
8,
indication of
4,
any human
5,
life.
and there we go.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
It did.
Was the bucket guiding him?
Yes, it was.
Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Thank you, bucket. So we're heading back down. And you know what? I feel like yet another press conference. I think it's gonna be a fun time.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
Thank you, bucket.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Well, let's go back up. I feel like that's gonna be a fun
Wait,
time.
Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up?
Please?
When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3.
There
I want to
was.
go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
Yes.
The bucket said nothing.
Don't worry, the bucket will understand. We just gotta get them to understand. All right, bucket, just wait till you see this, baby. Just wait. Come on. Yes.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took
Yes!
the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over.
That was so cool. Anyways,
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
bucket. Come on, man. Oh, well, it happens. Well, let's go back up again. I don't think he appreciated it.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
It's all right, bucket. You're gonna understand. Don't worry. Don't worry, man. So we'll head back over here, and this time, I think we're gonna do it correctly. Don't worry.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran
Yes.
to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a
Yes.
beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion.
Oh.
He wielded the number 3
That was awesome.
like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears.
Okay, stop
the
now,
whole
man.
time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing.
Please.
The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all. Only silence.
Oh.
Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
I guess we're going back down.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Okay, I think I have an idea this time. We head back up again.
"Ah," said Stanley. "I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart." He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where
That's
he
a
would
great
speak
idea.
to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over.
That's
He
amazing.
would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it.
They'll finally
Then the bucket
understand.
would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Bucket, you're gonna understand it,
For
man.
months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life. This was it.
Three.
One last chance to win the bucket over.
Please.
One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Come on, Bucket.
There was no one here.
Oh.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over.
No.
He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
Why?
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Well, that's life, I guess. And that's another ending. All right, on to the next one. So we're taking the bucket again straight to our boss's office. Also, just for fun.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no return to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket.
But like I said, we actually have to press the code every time. It's a little annoying, but thankfully the bucket always whispers to me and tells me the right code. So we're gonna be heading down and doing all the mind control stuff, but this time with the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good time, man. Bucket, I hope you protect me, man. So, let's press
The
that.
lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Bucket, please protect me. I know you can.
Monitors
Please
jumped
protect
to
me.
life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped.
No.
Monitored like guinea pigs.
No.
The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
I'm sorry,
But Stanley
Bucket.
cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
We'll make it through this together. Don't worry, Bucket. We got this.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
No.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
No.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Not really sure.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
It's okay. We'll make it through
He
this.
screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
Please,
At
Bucket.
this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I love you so much, Bucket. Just keep me safe.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided,
boop, we're turning it off. So, now it's going to give us a bit of a different ending.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Maybe.
Yes, they had done it.
We did it, Bucket.
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy.
Yes.
Freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine.
Finally.
Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
Wow.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Oh.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Yes.
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
What? Why'd it stop?
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
No.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Please.
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Building, no!
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket.
Building!
Needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, or go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Yep, we're gonna see about that one. Alright, you know the drill. We're going back. And we got this room again. Good RNG. That's actually faster. And now at this point, we're gonna go press on.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
No bucket!
Stanley gasped in horror.
Bucket!
Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this?
No.
Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Yes!
Birds. Silly, silly birds.
Silly birds!
The control buttons became active again.
Oh my gosh. Look how silly they are. Look how silly
Stanley
the birds
flipped through
are.
one video of silly birds after another.
Yes.
And then it dawned on him. This wasn't a
Oh
mind
my
control
gosh.
facility at all.
Yes.
It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
They're so
The mind controls
silly.
were only a facade to disguise its true intentions.
Thank
Had the
you.
bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
Thank you, Bucket.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
Wow.
Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Thank you, Bucket.
And Stanley was happy.
Thank you. Best ending achieved. Let's go. Yes. And now for a slightly worse ending. So now this time, we're gonna go in and then head back out. See you later, narrator. And yeah, you probably already have an idea of what we're about to do. We gotta walk through this whole thing in silence. But at least we have the bucket to protect us, so you know, it's not that bad. We even get to the scary part where there's so much darkness, all the red lights. The bucket is all we need to keep us safe. He's our one true friend, when you really think about it. Thank you, Bucket. Thank you for keeping me safe. And finally, we make it over to the escape bay launch bay. I did not say that right at all. But we make it over to the escape pod. But, you know what? There's only enough room for one of us, me or the bucket. And I think you already know what we're going to do. Bucket, I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm gonna miss you so much. Please, shh. It's okay. I can take this. For your safety, I'll do anything. I know. I know we're gonna miss each other. But it's okay. It's okay. Just please never forget me, Bucket. I'm never gonna forget you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, there goes the bucket. Yeah, so that was kind of a sad ending. And you can also see the bucket's gone for now. So while we don't have the bucket, we're gonna go do the confusion ending. So we're gonna take this way.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I'm not getting back on track, man. We're going down. I'm yelling timber.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Narrator? Narrator.
From here, it's, Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Oh, it's okay, man.
No, not the right.
Oh.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Yeah, okay. He's just, rustling through his papers. Hopefully he'll figure it out.
We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Thank you. I'm glad you figured it out, man. I'm glad you did it. And we make it to the mind control facility.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler.
Ooh.
Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't. I don't know how.
We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Okay, fair enough.
This time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
All right, thanks, man. And we're going to reload. But there's no bucket at all now. And that's because this is part of the same ending. And now we have so many doors.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
I don't know, man.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
I didn't touch anything.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure.
All right.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's do it. Maybe over here. And yeah, this part, he's just kind of looking for his story. And we have no real way to speed this up. We're just kind of walking through the area. And, just kind of hanging out.
Do we need to restart the game again?
I guess.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again. But it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah, sure, man. He's trying his best at the very least. Podium, where are you? Oh, I miss the podium so much. But this time, instead of too many doors, there's just going to be no doors.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Now we're going to be heading backwards. I was thinking for a second. But, we're just going to be heading backwards really quick. See if we missed anything. I'm literally just repeating what he said. That wasn't the most insightful commentary.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Come on, story. And nope.
Wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh, where are we now? This doesn't look like the story.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Huh.
Do you remember, Stanley?
Not really.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this?
We cry.
You win!
Oh.
Congratulations!
Let's go! Yes!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
I did it!
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
I do.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Okay, come on, bud.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Come on, man.
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
I guess that's fair. Okay. And now we
All
have
right,
the adventure
I've got a
line.
solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line.
Oh, yeah.
Just follow the line.
TM.
How simple is that?
It's so
You
simple.
see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction.
Okay.
Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Let's go.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
That's too philosophical
Simply
for
by
me.
the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Me neither, man.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Yay! Oh, yeah, music! It's so fun!
Music.
Oh,
Go back and look at that fern.
nope.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Well, that's kind of awkward, but you know, it happens. I also took slightly the wrong direction right there, but that's fine, and we're back in the mind control facility.
No, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Well, you know, maybe this time is gonna work. We got the adventure line again, but...
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
I guess.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable.
Okay.
Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
All right, let's do it, man. This seems like a pretty good place to have
yes,
the story.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I want it to be about...
Oh, no, not
No,
you
I was
again.
about to tell... Come
Stanley,
on, man.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
I like the
no
line.
No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. and we should be fine.
Can I tell you what I want our story to be about? Or are you going to stop talking for a second so I can do that? Okay. Anyways, I want our story...
A
Come
choice.
on.
We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go,
Other
there
way.
must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in
Switch.
turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Let's go. Oh.
Hold up, what's this?
Huh.
The confusion ending.
Oh, wow.
You're telling me that's
Ooh,
what
a
this
bookstore.
is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
Wow. That's a long ending.
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
That's kind of awkward.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
That's fair.
And the timer stopped?
Oh.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
Let's go.
The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Nah, I think we're good. I think we're
So-
kind of just standing here.
Okay.
Yeah. Just you and me, buddy.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination.
That's probably a
so I
song.
hope that's where we are right now.
Life
We'll
is
find
a
out, won't we?
highway. That's a
Eventually.
different song.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
Okay, well, we did it. And that's the confusion ending. So we're back to
How
normal.
wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally.
Not for
This
long,
is
replacement
great, he thought to
bucket.
himself. And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Okay, you didn't have to say that. That was kind of mean. Next up, we're going back to the mind control facility, but this time we're going back to the bottom. Let's actually turn on the light this time before we go to the bottom. You know, maybe not be in complete
The lights
darkness.
rose on an
There we
enormous
go.
room packed with
And
television
there we go.
screens.
Easy.
What horrible secret did this? But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below.
Oh,
Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
thanks, bucket.
Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here.
Yeah, that's fair.
So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit
Yeah.
cold, perhaps.
Ooh.
After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette.
Oh, yeah.
That was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
Oh, I love paninis.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came
Oh.
in that it really started to feel like a home.
Look at
In
it.
fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all.
Yes.
He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility.
This is all I need.
This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets,
But we have
and the
TV.
state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning.
TV.
It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail.
Bucket.
All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending.
No.
This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible.
We had
Yet
paninis.
Stanley was inconsolable.
Why, Stanley?
This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground.
Well, it is an ending.
The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending.
No, it actually
But it's
is.
where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually.
Yeah.
It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
Okay, well, yeah, that seems about right. Okay, anyways, back to the start. So now time for our last ending that's down here. And in this one, instead of going to the mind control facility, we're heading left to escape, yet again.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
It's alright, we're together at
At this
least.
point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
I wish I could bark. If only, why couldn't it stay? But that's okay. You know, we're already jumping back down. And this time it's going to get a little bit more interesting what happens here. Because now, well, it's pretty much the same thing, but we have the bucket. So yeah, time to go to our inevitable death. Hooray. It's all right, bucket. Just hold me safe.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had
Okay.
turned out to be.
Come on,
To
man.
be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death?
All right, that's
This is
not
what
fair.
Stanley thought to himself. And he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
Come on,
Farewell,
man.
Stanley.
Well, time to get crushed, except it stops again. Thanks, bucket.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Well, we died. Anyways, time to go back to here, but this time with the bucket.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
It really is.
It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the
Wait,
rest.
they
It was
stole
a
my bucket.
glorious bucket to behold.
No. They stole it. Yeah, so they steal my bucket. They don't think I deserve it, which is kind of unfortunate. But we can see it.
Can you see how arrogant it was for
Beautiful.
Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own?
Fair.
Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far... No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one.
Fair enough.
It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
My bucket now, though. Gimme, gimme. Oh, yeah.
But there is something we can do.
There is?
Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Okay. What should we do?
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket.
That's
we
fair.
can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die.
You know
together.
what?
The bucket should
Let's
take
go.
his place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a
Yes.
new world, a new vision.
Yes! Whew. Okay. Well, that was fun. Time to kill the bucket now. So, for this ending, what we're going to do, we're going to grab the bucket, but then actually go backwards. I'm smiling because I'm about to murder him. All right, we just got to go up here, go down through there, and we're back in this room for the last time.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
Yes!
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein.
Wow.
Of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay.
That's
if
intense.
only it had been stronger. Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim.
Wow.
The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception.
Jeez, man.
This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow. No, said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was
forgot about
young
that.
back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No! Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket!
Chill out, Stanley.
This is so stupid! Why
Chill.
are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
My
bucket.
God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Why? Anyways, all right, on to the next ending. And we're taking a break from the bucket. It's also going to be time for some more right door endings, because I'm pretty sure we finished all the left ones now. So we're going to hop on here, and right away, as soon as it activates, we'll hop off.
Look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back.
Oh.
You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I
Yeah, we'll
bet
be
you
fine.
can make it.
All right, fair enough.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anlarines.
Let's
Very
go.
soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have None of them. And now we have them all.
I can't wait.
You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Wow, that was awesome. Anyways, time to die.
Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Yeah, that is a different ending than just the death one we did earlier, because we were having, like, cold feet there.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
I hate this dialogue.
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
There isn't anyone following us, but it always worries me. I hate that dialogue so much. So now this time, we're actually going to go onto the lift, and...
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yeah.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Exactly.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Well, this is beautiful.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly.
Yes!
Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment.
We did it.
This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that.
Oh, fair.
So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Sounds pretty good to me. All right, cool. Anyways.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
All right, fair enough. We'll actually listen to him.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
Yeah.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh, a door. That's what I like to see. I love doors. And it puts us into this place, which
What do we want?
This place is beautiful.
What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That was awesome. Anyways.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Don't worry about me, man. I gotta do what I gotta do.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs.
No.
If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
That's okay.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley. No!
Another one.
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Yes.
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
Yes.
You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask.
It was.
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all.
I did.
Well, this one is yours.
Well, it was good knowing you, narrator. But thank you for giving me this choice. And there we go.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
But you know, it's okay, because even though that was a very bad ending, at the very least, we get a really cool one now, because we're going to go straight over here into this room.
Stanley, I'm
then...
sorry, but I have to put a pause on things.
Oh.
It's those figurines. Those figglers.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life?
It was.
Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Yeah, man.
I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Finally. Yes. Back to the memory zone. Oh, yeah. Oh, this took so long, but we're finally here. The Stanley, isn't this supposed to be the Stanley Parable too?
Here's where it all began. The first collectible.
Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain?
You don't actually have to pick them up, though, by the way, because this is all endings. We don't have to get all the collectibles, and since they're slightly out of our way, we're just gonna skip them.
And here was a second Stanley.
That one was awesome.
I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6.
Wow, that was rude.
But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Okay, don't have to say it like that. And now, boss's bathroom.
Let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember? Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. And now, 4th one. Oh, I love
Let's
this
see.
one.
What came next?
Pink room.
Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Yeah, it had to happen. It literally had to. And now,
This
right
was
down
the 5th
here.
mini stand, and this one was really something
I love this
special.
one.
It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly.
It was so cool.
In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Yes!
Enjoy.
Let's go how you found it by the narrator. Okay, so we went into this room. Do you guys remember this? What's that back there? That's what I said. And then I was like, oh, is that the figurine? It's mini stand number 5. Yes, mini stand number 5. Oh, it's shining. Oh, we did it. Oh, thank you so much, narrator. Thank you so much. You found it near the cargo lift. I remember that. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for making this video. So high quality. Wow. Credits, directed by the narrator, edited by the narrator, music by the narrator, produced by the narrator, best boy the narrator, see the narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
Yep.
I spent a lot of time making that video,
Thank
but
you.
it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
You're a hero. You really are a hero, narrator. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Anyways, time to get our last one. It's kind of sad, actually, that we're already to the last
And then,
one.
Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors.
Oh.
This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected.
I got them all.
It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
True. All right, well, I guess that's it. You know, that was every single figurine collected. I get that's the end. We're in the present now.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment.
Yeah.
Nothing left to do but move onward into the future.
Oh.
Goodbye, memory zone.
Okay. Well, I guess that's an ending. You know, we really appreciated all those. Oh,
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines?
Really?
Let's just go backwards.
Yes!
We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction.
Yes!
See how that feels.
oh my gosh. Thank you.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors.
It was
I
so
remember
nice.
This. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Oh,
and here's
remember
where
this
I
one?
made that video. Don't you remember the video we
I do
watched?
remember that video. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Near the cargo lift.
Yes, I love that video.
Oh, that was a good video. Oh, and this one is so good. Oh my gosh.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one.
That's fine.
Good room, though. A solid room.
Yeah, it's a good one. You know, it tried its best. That's all that really matters. Ooh, the bathroom one.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Thank you. I'm so glad the narrator made that decision. It would have been pretty bad if that didn't happen. I'm not going to lie. But, oh, this was a good one.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember?
Yes.
I remember it too.
My gosh.
The past is truly a wonderful thing.
Ooh.
Why does anyone ever choose to leave it?
That was awesome.
Keep going.
Oh, in this room.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines.
I love that one.
I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
The jump circle. Yes. Yes, thank you.
Look,
Oh,
it's
what's
the
this?
terrible new
Boom!
content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. Oh, yes.
Wow.
The two doors.
Oh.
Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
My gosh. Oh, that was such a good trip down memory lane.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
No,
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
this is everything. That's all. That's all I needed.
Yes, I'm remembering something now.
Oh.
I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me.
Oh.
He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
It's okay,
Yes,
bud.
Perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with.
Thank you.
You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
He's not going to retire us for good.
Telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
So, that is the figuring endings. And now it is time for by far the longest ending in the entire game.
I can't wait to
Yep,
tell the
I'm
story
doing
to
art.
completely
So,
prove it.
we're back in this room,
Prove that I'm on
and this
your
time,
side.
we're taking blue.
Chance.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm not going to walk through the red door, buddy.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm not
I still
gonna do
don't
it.
think we're communicating properly. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley.
Thank you.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want
Yes.
to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
You won't stop me. I'm
see?
going.
There's nothing here.
It's orange.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map.
Whoa.
Because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yeah.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yes.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did.
Doubtful.
And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
That'd be pretty
Work
cool.
with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
I can't talk.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go.
Yes.
A third option.
Oh.
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I'm gonna give it a
well,
2.
Now, this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you excruciating pain.
Yeah.
Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Whoa! There's a screen that we don't really get to look at, but it's a cool screen.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
5
Hey,
out
I
of
nearly
5.
forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on.
Yes?
And now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
Oh,
You
okay.
wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
All right. You know, I don't mind doing some playtesting.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
Wow.
I think the art world will really take notice.
It will.
But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
Oh, that's
so
fair.
why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
Okay.
Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I will. Yeah, so this is legitimately the next 4 hours of my life. I'm gonna skip past this for everyone watching the YouTube video, but just know, this is happening. Oh! What? What's happening? Oh my gosh, please stop. Please stop! Oh my gosh, that actually scared me so much. Please stop. I don't want this. I just want to go back to singing Disney songs. Please stop. Stop. Hear me, mortal. I'm the essence of divine art. Others, but you cannot read this text. Thank you. Know that when you die, I will personally carry your spirit across the river into my garden built within the emotions of a flower. I don't think that's true, but you know, I appreciate the notion at the very least. There we will live together. We will dance and eat and sin, and you will do improv comedy based on suggestions from me for all eternity. I don't want to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that actually with you. I appreciate that you're offering, but I don't want to do that. Thank you very much. This is your reward for your work here today. I get a reward? I get a reward. Please. Go. Did you even give me a reward? Go now. Live your normal human existence and wait for me in the life. Okay. I love you. I just met you. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who you are. Let's be honest with ourselves really quick. Anyways, is that it? Okay. I literally don't want to hear any of it, narrator. After what you just made me do, shut up. We're going back to the blue room, but this time we're getting a different ending. So we're going through this again this time, but this time we're not pressing a button. We're watching the baby burn.
Bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Finally.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable.
No problem,
hey,
man.
Since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
It's picking out a good game right now.
This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, so now we get transported to a different game, Firewatch. Which, by the way, if you want me to do a speedrun of this in the future, let me know in the comments.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower.
Wow.
Perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that must be it.
Yeah, that sounds
what
about
a
it.
fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game,
You're
Stanley.
a weird guy.
And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
All right, I guess we will. So now we head down here, and wait, did I I went the wrong way. Okay, it's fine after the baby. Look, my mental is not the best after that, but we're gonna recover. Don't worry. You know, the little time loss, it's fine. I will never do that baby minigame again.
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
What? What, narrator?
It is. It's an open world game.
No.
Good God, quickly, block it off.
No, yes, quick. Oh, thank you.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call.
That was close.
You nearly wandered off into that thing.
That would have been
that
awful.
Big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
Thank you, man.
We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
And this time, it's Rocket League! Oh, yeah.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Me too.
Just a nice big box for you to run around in.
This is
There
awesome.
isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design.
This is what we
Stanley,
needed.
if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
I appreciate that. I'm going to. You'll see. You'll see, buddy.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball.
Oh,
what fun.
that sounds
We shall
awesome.
run the bases and do a touchdown together.
Whoa.
Yes, I think surely we must.
Oh, but what about this
Stanley,
hole?
Here's the ball. Have fun.
Whee!
Oh, no. What are you doing?
I'm going in the hole. What are you talking about?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there.
Sorry, man. I'm going. I'm out of here. And now, horror part, because we no longer have our narrator friend, and we're here, which is scary. And we're just gonna walk through this place, but we just gotta keep walking this way. We want to walk towards this hall a bit, and then afterwards, we will turn back around, and as soon as we make it in this door, it should fade to black, and we get the narrator again.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now.
Maybe.
I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
That's kind of
The
ominous.
end will be here soon. Very soon.
This is really ominous.
I can wait.
Chill out, man. No, it's just a game. Chill out. All right, on to the next ending, and finally we get to see our wife. And this time, for once, we're actually going to go on the cargo lift.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
We did.
I'm not your enemy, really. I
I
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
guess that's fair.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
All right.
To put your work aside.
I got to do
To
it.
let her back into your life.
I got to do it, man.
She's been waiting.
Please.
That's her, Stanley.
Let me pick up the phone. Oh, my wife. Finally, my wife. I'm here, wife.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Yes.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
It's
I'm
me.
just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Oh, I love fresh made bread.
Right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Wife? Wife.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
No.
They'd want to commit their life to you.
No.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Why do you have to laugh like that? Hi, wife.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh, I'm going to press Y.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Seems about right, not gonna lie.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
At least I have a wife, you know? She's looking pretty good.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Yeah, it does hurt a little bit, but, you know, we can watch
And
some
so
TV.
he began to fantasize about his own job.
Oh, where's my TV?
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had
It won't
suddenly
let me get
vanished
closer to her.
off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
I can't even give her a hug.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either.
Oh.
At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
It didn't.
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Yeah, that is all I really need in my life.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Oh.
And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
Wow.
And down another was a game with a baby.
That one was
And he
awful.
called it the Stanley Parable.
Title drop. Oh, it's tell my kids a
It
story.
was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end,
Seems
that
pretty
he
good to
might
me.
always feel this free.
It's awesome.
Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Man, you also want me to play, to be fair.
But there is no answer.
Oh, wife, no.
How could there possibly be? In reality,
I
all he's
hate
doing
Mondays.
is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Well, that's kind of sad, but let's go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
A button! I'm gonna press it!
You see? Can he just not hear me?
That was
How
awesome!
can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I will never look at myself!
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
You can't.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
It won't work.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Oh.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Well, that's an ending. A very sad ending. But we're going back to the phone. So we make it back into this room, but this time we're going here
That's
and
so
we're
Stanley.
unplugging this.
Oh,
Boom.
no, you can't. Did
Easy.
you just unplug the phone?
I did.
Now, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible?
I'm just kind of crazy
None
at
of
this
these
game.
decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation?
My bad.
Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
Oh.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Okay.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
It really is.
But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous.
Oh.
For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice.
He is a big tie.
He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read.
That's a good one.
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic.
That makes sense.
If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real.
Oh.
Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking.
I don't like your face.
Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness. Is it 4:30?
Excellent.
Excuse me.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day.
Oh, wow.
Do you make more than 8? Less?
I don't know.
And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside.
All right, fair enough.
At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
I did notice
But not
that.
to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
All right. I'm excited to see this, you know? I realize my mistakes. All the mistakes I made through this. Like doing a speedrun where I spend 4 hours clicking a button.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story.
That'd be
that
silly.
story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Well, that's okay. We'll figure it out. We have the narrator helping us, and now he just kind of sits there silently, which is a little awkward. It's always so weird when you're playing this game without the narrator talking. Just us alone with our thoughts.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Okay, you know, that sounds pretty good to me. So we'll go right here.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The right door, okay.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Okay. Oh, my bad, narrator. I just heard you wrong. And then we come over to here.
It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work.
I tried my
Why?
best.
For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh. Well, death time. You know, it happens to the best of us. Not much you can do about it. Narrator? Narrator! Where are you? Narrator, come back!
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever.
I'm sorry.
Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed.
I'm sorry.
It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
I tried.
He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
I'm sorry.
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious.
I'm
It
not
would have been
actually
so
sorry after that
perfect.
baby ending.
I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to
I
make
don't care. I'm going to be honest. I'm happy that you're
behave
disappointed.
exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
Okay.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I know the right answer this time. We go over to the left. And I'm sure everything is going to turn out great with this.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Yeah, that's
Feeling
so weird.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping him coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Come
office.
on, boss. I need your help here. Ooh, I need to make the right choice here. I'm not going to disappoint him again. Oh,
Stepping
nice green
inside
room.
his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115.
Oh,
Was this the
that's
code
a
to
good
open
code.
the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. Excuse me? Excuse me, game? Night Shark 115?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I'm trying. I don't know how to speak, narrator. You never taught me how. A little awkward.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
I'm trying, man. I don't know how. Night Shark 115. Please.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously.
I like the panda.
If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
I hate you after that baby
When
ending.
Stanley
You know
saw a set
this.
of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
This is all I needed.
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose.
This is what you get.
Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this.
Don't care.
The story needs it.
Don't care.
So, you hear me?
No.
Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
okay? It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Easy. So yeah, that's another ending. And now it is bucket time again.
A bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket.
We're going to the
tightly
right
twist.
bucket.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
I love that.
Stanley
I love
took
that
the door
voice
on his
line.
left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Nah, we're not doing that. We're going down here. And this is going to be a very interesting ending.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Whoa!
You see, your
The
friends
baby!
and I are concerned
My
for you,
wife!
Stanley.
A
We've
computer!
come together here because we care about you
Ooh.
very much.
The broom
It's
closet.
this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
I love the bucket.
Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
Kind of.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new.
Okay.
Yes, that's... Whee!
We'll do it
Look
with the
at that
bucket.
wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next?
Yes.
Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh my gosh, this music is so silly. Let's go. I'm having the greatest time of my life.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
All
Don't
thanks
you
to the
remember
bucket.
all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something. Don't you
Oh.
get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
What?
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No.
I think it'll make a
No.
wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not
No.
in the original game, but it's such a well fleshed out character
does look
with so
pretty
much
cool.
personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Bucket Destroyer?
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
No.
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for
I
you.
don't know.
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I can't. I love the bucket. I love it so much.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality
We can
trait.
teach it more stuff.
Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
No. But I loved Bucket Destroyer as well. Did he die? Did we die? Somebody died. And there's the Bucket Destroyer. By the way, you can't actually put the button in there.
Bucket
If you
Destroyer.
try, you hug it.
My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
I'm sorry, Bucket Destroyer. You did not deserve this. I just couldn't get rid of my bucket. At least it was another ending, you know? There's that. And we get to do some more bucket stuff.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room.
I
go
love the
somewhere
bucket's
else.
voice.
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo
Nope,
lift.
I'm going to the vent bucket. I'm sorry. I'm a vent guy. And we're back in this room where you remember last time there was the tape recorder. So I wonder what it's going to be this time. Well, I actually know. Obviously, I've done the speedrun before. Anyways, here it is.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Oh.
Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get...
No.
What's that? Who's there?
No! Bucket guy! Well, yikes. It's kinda awkward. Bucket guy, you okay? You okay, buddy? Okay, well. Well, anyways, on to the next one. Now, for our next ending, it's just going to very simply be this.
Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
True.
So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Yeah, that's kind of cute. Well, gotta love that ending. Now for this time, we're gonna do the hesitation ending, so we'll go right there. Get off.
Cargo lift, yeah.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down.
Oh.
Since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices?
Oh.
It's true.
That's cool.
You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
Well, I guess we might as well give it a try.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
I mean, you tried your best, I guess. And that's another ending.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
I'm not going to do it
Stanley
for you.
did not question why or how this bucket was speaking.
It is
to
kind
him.
of weird,
It
but
should
I
have
also
alarmed
don't
him, of
care,
course, because
didn't
buckets
ask.
can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him.
It seems like
he
it.
unthinkingly did whatever the... No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see? There's a sign right
No.
there. It says, no buckets past this point.
Dang it.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
Huh.
I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point.
Yeah.
Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Seems about right.
Please, step in here for a moment.
And now we get the coolest game show in the game. Is this a bucket?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, let's begin.
Come on, what's the first one? That is a bucket right there.
Is this a bucket?
That is a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, you can't get every single one of them right. Sometimes you got to get a few wrong.
Item 2.
That right there is a bucket, though.
Is this a bucket?
Of course, that's a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh. Well, I guess, you know, 0 for 2. Maybe we get right on the third one. This one, it looks like, oh, that's a bucket.
Is this a bucket?
That's a bucket right there. Yes!
Correct. This is a bucket.
Let's go! Oh my gosh, I was scared about that one. I thought I was definitely going to get that one wrong, but all right, number 4. What's it going to be? That's a bucket
Item
right
4.
there.
Is this a bucket?
Yes, of course.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
No.
It's an enormous machine that tills the earth.
It's a
I thought
bucket.
this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
I don't know what they were talking about. That's definitely a bucket. All right. What is this one going? Oh, that's the nicest bucket I've ever seen. That is definitely a bucket.
Correct.
Let's go.
This is a bucket.
Yes. Woo. Ah, feels good. You know, we got like, how many? Like 2 right? That's pretty good. Oh, that's a bucket
Item
right
6.
there.
Is this a bucket?
Definitely a bucket right there.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Does that count as I getting it correct? I'm going to say it counts as me getting it correct. That's 3. Let's go.
Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Well, this really doesn't seem like a bucket. It seems like nothing.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No, I don't think so. Probably not, right?
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift.
I'm sorry, man.
Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Maybe.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
Oh.
I'm afraid the
What about
bucket
me?
is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay, here we go.
No. Well, what happens? Well?
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket?
No.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
Aw.
And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
Okay.
Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
That's pretty good.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Okay.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
Okay.
Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Yeah, everybody watching this video, don't let them know, okay? This is just between us.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room.
I
Go
love the
somewhere
bucket's
else.
voice.
The cargo lift. Yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Thanks, Bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Okay, Bucket.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Yeah.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
Yes, they can.
But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Makes the most sense to me. And this time we're going over to the phone ending.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Why would I not? Let's just be honest with ourselves. It's what the bucket is telling me. And we're picking up
Now
the
pick
phone,
up
baby. And this is where the game gets amazing. Or weird.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Bucket.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
It can. Oh, let's press C right there.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
No, it's real. At least it's real to me.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
I won't. The bucket is much better than you, man.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me?
No.
Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk.
No.
All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
You're a liar.
It. It doesn't do anything else.
You are lying to me, and you know this.
You see,
Bucket.
He's not listening.
Oh.
He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
It's just the best, man. I don't know how you don't understand this.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine.
It does. It does. You know, you can't be wrong about that one.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
It's just an amazing bucket. I'm glad you're finally understanding.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Because it is. And you know it is.
Oh no. I'm having feelings.
Hi, bucket.
The bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
No.
I need it.
I'm not
Give it to me
you.
now. Give it
No.
or I'll...
Get away from me. That was scary. Whew. Go back to work. I will, bucket. Thank you. Thank you for telling me what to do. All right, let's go unplug the phone. So now it's time for maybe one of the best endings.
Now pick up the... Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone?
I was scared.
Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking.
Oh.
Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things.
Oh.
Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you
My
get
bad.
the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
I didn't get it, man.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness.
He was
I must
definitely
have really
talking to me.
bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's go. I've needed one of these for a while now.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last?
Okay.
How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies?
Oh.
And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
Start the timer.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them
I
in
did.
a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit.
You're right.
With one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body.
How'd you know?
These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor.
Okay.
Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half. Pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary.
Okay.
When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
Okay. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys.
That's important.
Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
And
bad.
that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp.
Let's go.
After all, with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
What an amazing video. Thank you so much. Wow.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Make sure you say I'm Dunny with the funny. All right? You got to remember that, narrator man. If you forget that, I won't know. And then, you know, that'll be very confusing. So yeah, let's go back.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now.
Wait, what happened to the other sticker on the
that's
bucket?
for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
Okay.
The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Well, I missed that sticker, but you know what happens, I guess? No more sticker for us. I'm actually not sure why that happened. Maybe it was a glitch or something, but whatever. It's not too big of a deal. We got it earlier anyways. And we're making our way back over here.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Ooh, I like this door. That's a nice door right there.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone.
That's really awkward.
But now the timing's completely off. Joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
All right, that's okay, man.
Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
You forgot to say I'm Dunny with the funny. That was probably part of the problem.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
All right.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right,
what?
leading back to the phone.
But the
Did
left.
you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley.
Oh.
I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley?
Kind of. To be honest, I kind of am. Remember the baby thing that happened? And now you took one of my stickers.
You love the bucket so much, it's like you It's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery?
You're not saying I'm done with the funny.
Shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket?
That's, I think, the only one.
The bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Yeah, so that was that ending. That was a fun one, and it's time to finish out with the epilogue. So what we're going to do is actually quit to the menu, and we're going to exit out of the game. Then when we open it back up, there's actually going to be something we can do. You'll see that we have to enter the current time. I'm going to go ahead and put one, and then this person is going to say... Excuse me, sir. Yeah, there you go. Hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting up the clock. A lot of people don't take this step seriously. I really appreciate it. That's how I know you care about this experience. Yeah, the guy is really appreciative. And he says, you know what? Next time, set the clock to your favorite time. He doesn't even want me to set it to the exact one, but my favorite time. So I really appreciate that. And we're quitting out again. All right, now for this one, you know what? I think 3:59. I think that's a good time. Your favorite time of day. Or could you not resist giving the correct time? After all, you enjoy setting time so much. How accurate is it? Pretty accurate. That was a lie. It's not at all. Regardless of the time setting the clock, it's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders. Shouldn't be too hard. Let me whip a couple up. That sounds quite delightful to me, sir. And now we quit out again. And now we gotta make sure it's barely visible. Then for the next one, we gotta make sure they're friends. Obviously, I want to make them love each other. Next one, we gotta make this into a 9. Where are you? 9? Did I miss it? There's 9. That's what we needed. Then we can go ahead until you're done adjusting it. I think around there is a good time to stop. And I really like the second word. I think that's a good one. Don't adjust it. All right, I'll listen to you, buddy. And do you know what time it is right now? Yes, I do. Indeed. Is the time that it is the correct time? Probably not. I don't think so. What time is it? No, I'm not going to tell you. Is there anything you haven't told me about yourself? Of course. Help? No, thank you. I think I'm good. I don't know you. Will you come back to visit me? Of course not, buddy. Of course not. So that's going to be that time done. We'll quit out again. And now this time, what time it is? Does anyone really, truly know? Of course they don't. No one knows anything. You and I don't know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted them. It's what I do like a day job. You're talking very fast. I mean, to be fair, it's because I'm clicking the screen, so it's kind of hard. I still don't really know you, and you don't know me, and neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. Yeah, you know, you're being kind of weird. I barely know you, man. I don't even know why you're talking to me. You like being alone? Okay, that's just weird. Why would you say that? It's time for you to leave. Thank you. I'm really tired. I want to be done with this speedrun. Please let me be done. Talk soon. All right, see you later, buddy. And now you can see that they added in the epilogue. So here's where we're going to. And this is going to be our very last ending that we have to do, which feels very good. I've been at this for 7.5 hours. Many years later. So we're just kind of in the sandy area. Back when we press the skip button over and over again. And we kind of just stand here for a while. It's like a nice cinematic sequence. It'll be a little faster for you, though. If you do want to see the full run, though, I will leave the link in the description. And yeah, you can watch the baby part if you really want to. And also, if you've been enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. I'd appreciate it. This was a lot to learn and also very painful for me. But hey, look, a nice fire. I'm gonna go step in it. It doesn't let me step in the fire, but at least I can try. I got that going for me. The next one, this does not look like a fun place to be. And you can see all the chairs just through the wild. What beautiful scenery. Then we make it to the next one, and it's all dark. We see the beautiful moon, something really to appreciate. This game in general is something to appreciate. Even with them making me do the baby thing, I guess they didn't make me, I did choose myself. But even with the baby thing, this game is absolutely amazing. Thank you to the creators for creating it. It's awesome. And now we just get to enjoy the sunset until finally it brings us back here. We're going to be heading in this direction and going over to this telephone booth where, of course, there's going to be our trusty friend, the bucket, and the sticker is back now. Okay, it must have just been a weird glitch, but whatever. We have the sticker again, and we can finally finish out by going over to this house. I don't know why I love doing these long speedruns so much, but I'm glad it's finally done. Well, not yet. First, we have to look in our memories of the Stanley Parable 2. And this is a pretty interesting area because there's actually a bit of walking we have to do. Of course, we have to go through the memories and stuff like that, and also just a lot of darkness. But we'll make it over here, and guess what we get to see? A review. Oh yeah, I'm not going to read that, but if you want to, you can pause the video and maybe see it yourself. But then we see Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. They're done. Obviously, the saddest thing in the world for everybody concerned. We want more Stanley Parable. We can even get more of these collectibles. Now, you don't need to get these collectibles, but you know what? I've been doing this run so much, I'm gonna get some collectibles. We might lose a little bit of time, but what we gain is seeing a number go up. So, I mean, that's pretty worth it in my opinion. And finally, before we finish out this, thank you for enjoying the new content. And to finish out, we go to our computer and we talk to our boy one last time. Hello again. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn there will not be another Stanley Parable. Integrity of the franchise? What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. Screw the legacy. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Who cares if people hate it? The narrator's an idiot. Don't cling to legacy. Let it burn. We're going to make Stanley Parable 3. All we need is a dumb subtitle, and I get to make it In Search for Moon. Stanley Parable 3, In Search for Moon. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. Yeah, let's not even add any more extra content. Let's do it. A new sequel every time you start the game. And we also get another achievement. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. You said there was no new stuff, but now you're going to give it to me. I mean, I appreciate it. And finally, after just a bit more talking, enter the current time. That's good enough for me. Adjust the slider. I probably don't even need to do that. Please enjoy. And that is time. 7:33:53. And we get to see a cool car. This is also going to put us at second place on the speedrun leaderboards. So I'll take it. All right, time to finally sleep. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.